Growing up back home, you could get in a lot of trouble in many different ways.
I think that's when he took out and really recognized his talent.
So I knew that that type of environment would be fitting for him.
He went to one middle school, he went to one high school, and one college.
The hours in the dark that people don't see, and those hours in the dark come to light, and it really has for Darrell.
My mom's a big academics person. She's a school teacher back home, fourth grade teacher. And my dad was really the one who started me playing basketball. He put the basketball in my hands when I was at the age of 5. So, I mean, that's self-explanatory, but they've been supportive and been here for me since day one.
I'm the #1 fan. So no matter what happens, he can always call me and I'm supported. It's easy. It's not difficult at all. I don't have to analyze anything. All I have to do is say, good job.
Great. It was bonding. It was, teaching. It was just the thrill of me teaching him and, him learning until, it got to a point where, he needed somebody else to teach him. You get tired of hearing the same voices over and over again.
Memphis is a great big city with a small town feel.
Growing up back home, you could get in a lot of trouble in many different ways. Just seeing my parents always together and there for me, I got to thank them for keeping me out of trouble.
Grew up in a 2-parent household, and your mother's a teacher, and your dad is an entrepreneur. This is a different background.
They were always there, always will be, and they communicate with me day in and day out. And I think it's just big having somebody there for you.
Of course he loves it. That's where most of the family is. And the city's always embraced him as a player as well as just being Darrell Jr.
When I go home, it's always love. People show me love day in and day out at home. I mean, friends, family. Some people I don't even really know like that, but they always support regardless of what you do. So I think just representing them and showing that you still know where you come from, I think that's very big. I mean, when it's your hometown, it's the city that really made you who you are. I mean, you have to have pride, and there's a lot of great basketball players that come from the city, and honestly, growing up, I just wanted to represent the city well, and knowing where you come from, but at the same time, representing it at the same time, I think that's real big. Memphis will mold you to be a tough, competitive guy. It's done so with me.
Once he made the team first year of middle school in the 6th grade, I think that's when he knew he had to come. He was starting as a 6th grader in middle school. I think that's when he took out and really recognized his talent.
He's always been a good scorer, but you could also see his defensive skills improve during middle school.
Knowing that things were always bigger than yourself, it's a team sport at the end of the day. And whatever you could do, whether it's scoring, getting your teammates involved, or just being there for a teammate and helping them out, I think that's big in the team aspect and being a leader and stuff like that. So just knowing that it's bigger than you, and if your team does well, you all succeed and get the glory at the end of the day. So that's a big thing. It's one of the funnest experiences of my life. I think knowing you play for Penn is a huge thing in itself. It gives you a bunch of confidence and stuff like that. Knowing an NBA player, he has so much knowledge about the game and life in general, and I think that was a huge key. And also, just going to tournaments and people always staring at Penny and just knowing he has a team and knowing that you on that team, it's always special.
Growing up, he always played against the best talent in the country. No matter 5-star prospects, he always played against them, so it wasn't nothing new to him.
I think just picking up on Penny not being a guy that was entitled or anything was given to him and just always working hard, I think that's been the biggest thing. Just knowing that a #1 recruit out of high school even had to work. Me not being that high-profile player, it just made me go 10 times harder.
Early on, it was always like, he went to one middle school, he went to one high school, and one college. I mean, wouldn't know if we didn't like this situation, he gonna transfer and go to another school and stuff like that. So if he chose this where it was gonna be.
DB just played big in big games when I went and saw him, could score, had a fire to him too, made his team better. I mean, understood the game and wanted to work at it, loves the gym, loves to be in the gym.
The fact that it was a private university, I knew that the education would be perfect for him and me. I also went to a private university, so I knew that that type of environment would be fitting for him.
I kind of knew that when I got recruited here that I would play a lot right away. Didn't know if I would start or anything like that, but I just always knew I had something I could bring to the table. Even when I was younger, I was able to do that my freshman year. Honestly, from the first year, I really didn't know what to expect, so I just kind of figured out what it took to win year in and year out. I had some key guys around me, old teammates and stuff like that were with me for 3 years. And I mean, it was big just building that chemistry for 3 years straight. And then when you get new teammates your senior year, I mean, it kind of shows you what it takes to be a leader and bring up new guys along with you.
He has been a huge part in developing this program's work ethic and how to put the time and the hard work pays off and sacrificing. Darrell has done that, and I think a lot of players have witnessed him do that.
He's become more vocal as a player, and that really surprised me. I could see him sometimes talking to teammates, because in the past he's been mostly action, less talk, but I do see the development of his verbal communication skills.
By example type guy, I really didn't say too much. Especially with guys who had been in the program, you just knew you really didn't have to say much because guys knew what was going on. And just being there leading by example was the biggest thing. But this year, my senior year, it's been a key for me to talk and show guys the way as far as talking and working hard and showing them how things should be done.
The fit has been perfect since day one.
I would say great. No off the court problems, on track to graduate on time. Can't ask for no more than that. It's all been a blessing.
I know it's an old slogan and probably boring to hear, but it's true. The hours in the dark that people don't see, and those hours in the dark come to light. And it really has for Darrell. And the film sessions, the extra shooting, all of that, you have to do consistently, and Darrell is as consistent as they've ever been.
The most enjoyable part has probably been just seeing all the hard work come to life and just playing college basketball and being the MVC. I think that's been the most special part.